Nordstrom's left, Macy's is leaving, a lot of other smaller stores are closing up, Whole Foods on Market closed down. What do you do? How do you get people back to work? How do you make San Francisco inviting? Our downtown is our vital business district, and we've got, whether it's commercial businesses and tech and finance, whole floors empty in buildings, and what do you do about that? How do you fix that?
Yeah, I mean, we just got some stats. What was it, 2 days ago, S&P downgraded our general obligation bond outlook from stable to negative. I think the data came out yesterday, our sales tax downtown is down 42% year on year. So it's a real problem that is starting to affect our city operations. So a few things, what do you do? Number one, I don't believe unless you focus on the core issues of public safety and street conditions, do you create an environment where employers and employees will come back en masse or think about it in the downtown core. So that has to be the first and continued dogmatic focus out of the next administration. Once you do that, then I believe we have to be very aggressive with tax incentives outside of City Hall to bring employers back. You know, we did it to great effect in the mid-market area in the 2010s. Twitter became the poster child there. But we also, as I say often, we learned our lessons, right? We allowed Twitter to come in and have their own gym, their own cafe, their own dry cleaning services. So it did support the small businesses in the surrounding neighborhood. So we have to do it better and do it differently. You know, we have to make sure that a certain amount of days back in the office are mandated for someone to take advantage of tax incentive. But we never give that away to somebody that has a fully remote workforce. That doesn't make any sense. You know, I think back often when I was doing investment banking, I was at Thomas Weisel Partners, and we were out of the 120 Kearny building, so the high rise coming out of the Crocker Galleria. And back then, boy, the Crocker Galleria in and of itself was chock full of stores and coffee places and restaurants. You know, when you're a junior banker, you don't have much time to go for lunch, but you know, when you did, up at that third floor, you know, 45 minutes of standing in line for your favorite kebab place and so forth. And now, I mean, I know there's a little construction going on there, but there's one store left. And the entire Crocker Galleria, which is it's just a moniker. It's like Macy's going away. It's like Nordstrom's going away. It's just a symbol for what's going on, generically speaking. So I believe we need to get very aggressive with our tax incentives to lure folks back to the downtown core. And I actually do believe that the conversion from commercial to residential really will matter in the long term. You know, today as you talk to folks, there's probably about 10 to 15 buildings where that may even make sense potentially do because of the existing floor plates and the windows and the amount of light that you're required to have. But think about a different feature if we get creative out of City Hall. Think about if we upzone the financial district. Think about if we allow these Class B and Class C buildings, which mostly are completely vacant right now, and the thought that there will be a tenant anytime in the near future is a pipe dream for most landlords or owners, let alone a tenant that will pay the mortgage. Think about allowing these buildings to demo, and then start thinking about committing to state increment tax financing at the local level. Now all of a sudden, even in this interest rate environment, you have these buildings, these projects start to pencil out, where we can create a future like Wall Street in New York did in the mid 80s, right? Late 80s and early 90s, Wall Street on the weekends was a ghost town. It had been historically. But now, you can argue, it depends on who you talk to, you can say on the weekends it's one of the hipper places in New York City, because they started to make that commitment to residential as part of the solution long term. We can start doing that in the downtown core in a different way, not just being lazy and say, okay, that building converted. Actually, just really start thinking about the different buildings and ones that can be eligible. How can we get creative with taxes out of City Hall to promote that and let these developers start to break ground? Then you really start getting excited about this urbanist vision of the city of San Francisco, a downtown core where after hours we're starting to close off streets again. Once the employees, you know, that do drive downtown leave with their cars, start shutting down streets. You can have restaurants, art galleries again, a nightlife area. This is an urbanist vision that I think we could all get really excited about. And I think it's there for the taking. Again, to me, it just takes different leadership inside of City Hall. It takes someone who actually really will engage with our business community more than ever before. I'm still the only candidate running for mayor, believe it or not, that has ever held a single job in the private sector.